off, I think. We're live on every major platform. Trovo is not a major platform. It is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Standard Time here in Los Angeles. I will be getting to your calls. It's Monday, December 20th, 2021 AD. What's up, guys? Thank you for joining me. Hello to the Facebook crew. Because I am streaming on Facebook as well as others. I'm going to have a fun show, I think. Hopefully. Going to talk a little bit about phony cackling Kamala Harris. That's that illegitimate senator turned illegitimate vice president, in my opinion. In my opinion. Shiny Hake. What's up, Colin Barrett? I wanted to talk this past Friday, about R.A. the Rugged Man. R.A. the Rugged Man, a rapper. A white rapper, I think. He was trending along, well, he wasn't trending. Tim Pool. You guys familiar with Tim Pool? Liberal video journalist turned podcast host. And he hosted a guy who has appeared on the Jesse Lee Peterson show and maybe even the Fallen State, R.A. the Rugged Man. It was an interesting pair of clips, some out of control, some stuff that I meant to get to on Friday that I did not get to. So I will get to them today. The black ladies, more clips of black ladies, and I use the term loosely, of course, fighting. I use it charitably. Fighting at the airport and more CRT mess. And masked kids. So dumb. Am I right? Anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
Have you been naughty or nice?
It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La la la. It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La la la.
Hey, guys!
It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La la la. It's the Hake Report, the Hake Report. La la la.
Whoa, so... Sorry, guys, I got thrown off. I was not paying attention. I was trying to join into the chat. And so I'm like, what's up, guys? But I know that I'm supposed to be like, so, how are you guys doing? I am fine. Did you enjoy church with Jesse Lee Peterson yesterday on Sunday service, weekly Sunday service, rebuildingtheman.com/church? I know I did. I've been going to Jesse Lee Peterson's church with Jesse Lee Peterson here at Bond since February 2007. And because it's the truth. I like it. How can you deny it? Hake, how are you able to enunciate the S and the K in masked so well? I don't know. You could say masked. I think that I've learned that you're supposed to speak clearly, enunciate when you are speaking in like public speaking type of thing. And sometimes I overdo it, and sometimes I underdo it. Motorcycle. Don't say motorcycle. Stuff like that. And I say white. And I add WH to words that don't even have a WH to them. What a mess. Before I get to calls, I will get to you guys. You can call in 888. Man, I point way over there. 888-775-3773. I'm pointing to the number on the screen here for those of you listening to the audio feed. Let me tell you and show you. Oh, you know what? First of all, I owe you guys an apology. I owe you an apology. I'm laughing, but I don't know. It's highly unprofessional. You're fired, Hake. I neglected to tell you guys or Jesse Lee Peterson that I was going to be on a show on the Crucible. it's big. It's a huge show. The Crucible, it is a YouTube channel run by a couple of Christian men. And I do not use that term loosely, men. Hosted by Andrew Wilson, formerly known as Big Papa Fascist, which he used the term fascist because all the dumb, evil, stupid liberals call everybody who's remotely Christian a fascist or a pro-American a fascist. So I don't know if he considers himself really a fascist or not. I've known at least one guy who does consider himself a fascist, and he's just a normal guy. What the heck? I'm serious. And he's not a public person, and he gets along with everybody, but he considers himself a fascist, which I was like, I wonder what that really means. And I've heard that it means like serious nationalist, like something like that, which is fine. And then his co-host is this, looks like a Hispanic name, but it might also be black, Pedro Lebron Guzman III. So might be a black Hispanic guy. Cool guy. Cool couple of guys. Thank you to Andrew Wilson for the invite to join the Crucible. I think he goes by a different name, ChristCon, Paleo ChristCon, something like that. Paleo Christian Conservative. I think that's what he goes by on Twitter. Because, you can't even include the word fascist on like Twitch anymore. I couldn't even include the word commie. In Twitch, if you're not familiar, is a video streaming platform. It is even worse than YouTube in many ways in terms of being SJW, pro-radical LGBTIQ, and all that stuff. They're not for what's right, but they have the fake set of morals that they impose on everybody. Their false religion, right? Hake was afraid we would show up. This is Jim Justice. Yeah, so I discussed rap and culture on a panel of four other people alongside these two other co-hosts. I was with Night Nation Reviews, solid guy. Devin Reviews was supposed to be there, but he bailed at the last minute because he got confused about the time zone. And I think he's overseas. And he's like, it's going to be too late for me. So like a half hour beforehand, he bailed. And so they got Low End Theory, who made the debate very interesting, very fun, very interesting. Thank you to Low End Theory and Earthman Brick, who is a YouTuber who makes like very interesting like Transformer, just like 3D video model type things. But Earthman Brick, and he goes on debates and talks politics elsewhere, right? He is like a Scottish guy. Right on, I'm Scottish too. And I made fun of the Scots. I'm like, no wonder the country's so messed up. Because he was all smirking about how I said sex out of wedlock is a bad thing and promoting it should be censored. I am for censorship. I am for free speech in many ways, but I'm also for censorship because we need to clamp down on them because they are clamping down on us. And in the olden days, here in America, we used to have laws and rules and just societal standards as men, where we did not put up with this degenerate, all these vulgar displays. So shameless. And so we talked about raps. Mainly we were targeting like gangsta rap, which was 90s and 80s and all that stuff. But we also went after like the newer stuff, which is even more degenerate and off the deep end, right? So I talked about, which is not exactly my forte, but I had fun with it. And I know a decent amount, right? I know a decent amount. Contrary to what Kickflip Chris said about me. James doesn't know anything, because I just wanted to say that it's Kid Cudi, not Kid Cudi. I grew up around Hispanics, so maybe that's where I picked up Kid Cudi. What a mess. So I know a little bit. I don't know nothing. I know nothing in the sense that I know very little. But it was fun. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. And you can go to thehakereport.com. They're up at the top of thehakereport.com is a link directly to the YouTube video if you want to check it out. There was some cussing. We got into whether dare I even say this word? Sorry, kids. Sorry, parents. No, I don't want to say it. We got into like, I don't think it's exactly child friendly. We got into stuff about we're supposed to be not having sex out of wedlock, but we are supposed to be making babies, right? Once you're married. Okay. So thank you to the Crucible, and thank you to my fellow guests, including and especially, honestly, the liberal ones. But my fellow conservative guy, Night Nation Reviews, did a great job. He brought some facts, and I brought some truth, I think. Hake is a rap music expert. Oh, man. I'm going to show you cackling Kamala Harris after I get to a call or two, guys. Let me just jump right into a call or two, right? Lucas out of California is on the line, guys. How are you doing, Lucas?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Doing well as well. Thanks, man.
I was just calling to see if you know about the metaverse.
I've heard about that. That's like what Facebook has changed their name to Meta, M-E-T-A, and they're going all in on it. And it's more than just Facebook, though, but I have heard of it. That's basically where you put on virtual reality glasses and immerse yourself in a fake world and interact with people around the world. Kind of like what JLP did. He did VR chat. Similar to that, I think. Yeah.
Well, that's the physical form, but the like actual definition,
okay,
is that like alternate like reality, like we could be in it right now. And I know the chat's gonna go off and be like, "Oh, he's high or tripping and all that." No, I'm not. But I've been thinking about it lately. Especially Elon Musk is he's getting too humble, or not even humble. No, just like not caring. But have you ever thought that we are like there's different alternate realities, and you are in it?
Oh,
I'm just asking.
I've not thought seriously about it, but I've heard people like maybe Scott Adams and like Mike Cernovich, who are guys that I read their stuff on Twitter, and they have appeared on The Fallen State and elsewhere. They have speculated that are we in a simulation here in real life? Is life a simulation? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Well. Yes. Yeah. Well, you pretty much yes.
Okay.
but also alternate realities. Like there's different. It's divided. There's different. Like you are doing something in a different alternate, reality, like a different life.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that?
Oh, in a different life? Oh, no. I haven't thought about that because that's stuff that is impossible to know. So why? Right? It seems like impossible to know, so why bother with wondering about that? You know what I mean? Unless you've done drugs and then you think that you're, whatever.
No,
you think that
I
you've
do
perceived
know what you mean,
stuff.
but it is kind of fun to think about though, because
oh man,
it does seem we know how the world is right now. And the reason why I'm thinking about this now, like recently, like a month ago, is because the world is so messed up, and I'm talking about from politics to other countries. Everything is just so messed up and complicated. It kind of makes me think there has to be something. There has to be something. The reason why this world is this way.
Are you a Christian?
Yes, I am a Christian.
Okay. Nice. Yeah.
No. I already know. I have faith. Like, see, I'm not saying this as in like I'm worried about something. but I just wanted to hear your take on it because, dude, yeah, I like you, bro. Like, yeah,
Nice,
I
man.
like you, bro. James, you're chill. I just want to hear your opinion. Like, I'm not trying to get at anything or I just want to hear your opinion on it because, it would be cool if we were friends in real life, but I just want to hear your take on it, and stuff because you guys, you speak well, you have, great information and good ideas, and you seem like a stand-up guy. I just want to hear your take on it. It's like I'm talking to you as if you're my bro.
I would encourage
That's the reason why I'm asking.
my only opinion, my only inclination about it is to encourage people not to, including you, not to get too into it.
Yeah, no, I'm not getting too into it. I'm just trying to get your take on it, dude. Because and everyone should know, and whoever's listening on this podcast, that you do. I see that you have good, you have a good intent, and then you also have. I don't know how you get your information. Sorry, I just trying to make up.
You know how I get my information?
I don't know how you get your information, but you do.
CNN, the skim.
Oh yeah, all right.
But and Church with Jesse Lee Peterson.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
That's about it.
No, Jesse's good. But I just wonder about that because
and the chat.
I've been thinking lately, how I don't know. It seems like something's going on, and I know this is not the final. This is not the end. I don't believe in the end times, all that BS. I don't believe in that.
But how do you know that that's BS? And that this is something that you should be considering?
Because I just don't believe that this world will ever be gone.
Okay.
I don't believe that the earth will ever just be no more.
Because doesn't the Bible say heaven and earth will pass away, but my word, God's word, will never pass away?
Yeah, but I'm not a Bible. I don't care about the Bible.
Okay, so
really don't.
That part of the Bible is either untrue or misrepresented or something.
Honestly, all of the Bible, all of the Bible, I really don't care about.
Really? So when you read the Bible, there's no part of it that rings true to you?
I have the Bible in my house.
Yeah.
Just to have it there.
Okay. Have you read it at all?
Yes, but it's just I don't. It's not even the same English language.
Oh, is it the King James version or something? Not to be dismissive of King James version.
It's King James.
Oh, okay.
King James.
Maybe you should get a translation that's more like common English, because I understand that there are sections of it when I read the King James that it is a little difficult to comprehend what it's trying to say.
Well, now we're going to something else because what's so important about the Bible? Why do you need to read the Bible? What's so important about it? I have it. It's
been around. It's like one of the top books for however many thousands of years or a couple hundreds of years. It's like you think that you're smarter than the people who were, or more perceptive or insightful than the people who found value from it?
No,
I'm not saying you have to read the Bible. I'm just saying it would make more sense to get a little bit into the Bible than to get a little bit into this idea of metaverse and stuff.
Well, no. I don't think metaverse has any. Metaverse is
alternate realities.
So I believe. I know that there is a God. There is God. Only one God. I do believe in Jesus Christ, that He is the Son of God, and that He was born by a virgin. I believe in all that, but I also believe,
and that's what we were told in the Bible. That's partly why I would wonder why you be totally dismissive of it. You don't have to be totally dismissive of it.
But I also believe that the technology that we have now, we had better, if not the same, thousands and thousands of years ago. But it got erased, and now we're relearning because people are becoming dumber and dumber. We can see that.
Yeah, it's interesting, huh?
And
as the technology improves, our minds decline. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just believe that we probably already had.
What
better
makes
technology.
you believe that? Out of curiosity, what makes you believe that we already had this great technology and we lost it?
Because people are so dumb.
Do you think we're going to lose it again?
Yeah, because if they listen to the higher power, they listen to the so-called leaders and stuff, and so they just mindlessly, like sheep, just keep going. And I don't know. I believe, not personally. I believe in eugenics, as in I like it, but I believe that they're trying to do eugenics, and I can see it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
So they're trying to kill off the people so that they can hide knowledge. And just keep killing people and hide knowledge. Man. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm getting too much into it. I'm sorry.
No worries, man. It's I'm glad that you called.
Yeah, most definitely, man. It's cool talking to you, man. I'll probably, I think I'll make it to church this Sunday.
Right on. You staying with the prayer?
Oh yeah,
Quiet
dude.
prayer?
Every single day. I just got engaged. That's why I'm going to try to make it to Sunday. If I don't drink too much eggnog, Saturday,
okay.
I'll try to make it to church.
All right, man. Well, Merry Christmas to you, Lucas.
Same, dude.
Thank you for the call.
You have a great one.
You as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Before I get to more calls, guys, I have to read a few super chats. A lot of super chats, actually. Some of them in response to last week. In fact, Michael Parkinson gave a super chat on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. By the way, before I read Michael Parkinson's statement, Uncle Ted 88 says, no, only read the King James Bible. That's his input. And he is a smart man, so I cannot totally dismiss what Uncle Ted 88 says. But I did grow up reading NIV. Not that it's a good version, it's politically correct. But I turned out not horrible. But that's kind of like saying not every child raised by gays is going to end up being dragged down into hell, because some of the children raised by gays, they're like, wait, something is not right. And then they wake up and then they like forgive their parents, including their fake parents. And then they like come forward, because all is not lost, no matter how evil and dark the world is, and evil towards children. So anyway, I'm not endorsing the NIV for sure. But anyway, thank you, Uncle Ted 88. I will read more of the super chats over there from Odyssey. But first, Michael Parkinson states blacks should not wish for violence. Oh, they more than wish for violence. Many of them commit violence. They do not make up a significant percentage of the combat soldiers. Bravery and self-sacrifice isn't high in sub-Saharan peoples. Same with police officers, etc. Bravery isn't a strong trait, alas. Thank you, Michael Parkinson. Yeah, it is. There's a lot of evil things going on amongst my callers and in the world. Your girlfriend states with a super chat, I'm almost certain that one of your callers, a black caller, whom I shall not name, thinks Hake is a MGTOW, and I'm not naming him or her. Your girlfriend named him, but I'm going to refrain. Thinks Hake is a MGTOW or maybe incel, meaning short for involuntary celibate, which is not true. I'm a Christian. That means I'm volcel, voluntarily celibate. And MGTOW means men going their own way, meaning many times MGTOWs, men going their own way, including I have like a MGTOW. Do I still have MGTOW Misfit in my chat? Or did he get sick of me and is he no longer in my chat? He's in JLP's chat and my chat sometimes. He's called in before. Nice guy. Sometimes in the past he has been angry. Got burned by the system, burned by the cops, burned by the fake justice system, courts, and burned by at least one woman, apparently. Oftentimes, MGTOW people don't have access to their kids. Don't have access. That's a communist word, right? Their kids are taken from them. It's so evil towards the kids, towards the father, towards everyone. And that's an evil world. Anyway, your girlfriend goes on to state about this caller. I am also certain he has no idea what those phrases are. And I just explained them. Thank you, your girlfriend. Your girlfriend also states, I can't lie. My favorite part of Hake News and THR, the Hake Report, is when you read quotes and tweets from radicals and get into character when it's a nasty and spiteful person. Your tone of voice cracks me up. Well, thank you, your girlfriend. I'm glad that that's a favorite part. That's cool. Thank you for the feedback. Based America First, referring to my appearance this past Saturday, states with a super chat, interesting panel discussion Saturday night on the Crucible about the cultural impact of rap and hip-hop. Are Joel Friday and Big Bump surprised to learn that they have the same social reach and influence as Lil Wayne and Lil Nasty X? I added the nasty. Lil Nas X? I don't know if they're surprised to learn that, but I did see from a super chat from Big Bump, thanks for the shout out on the Crucible. I watched it last night after some of the Bond church ladies mentioned it to me. Right on, Big Bump. Yeah, I started off before I started trashing everybody else in the so-called hip-hop world, including some of the fake Christian rappers, except for Stephen Wiley. I like him. Just don't tell me that he's anti-racist. Stephen Wiley, is he still alive? Stephen Wiley rapping for Jesus to the beat. When I was 5, my oldest brother bought me a Stephen Wiley rap tape. It had like 2 or 3 songs on it because the rap music was so long back then. Bible Break maybe was one of the tracks. Yeah, but I said Joel Friday and Big Bump, those are solid guys. The rest of them, a bunch of liberals, including the so-called Christians, including Propaganda, who showed up late for an appearance on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Like 15 minutes late, we turned him away. Because JLP was sick of it. Blacks always late for their interviews. Be on time. But he sat in traffic from Covina to here, which is only usually like a 35, 40-minute drive. He sat in traffic for 2 hours, and then we turned him away. Wow. And then Lecrae, another SJ. He's the one who had that Dan Cathy, Chick-fil-A CEO, kiss up, makes me want to spit. 2. But this is not my studio in which I can spit, okay? So I will not spit. Except for incidentally by talking. He was the one who washed Lecrae's feet. Dan Cathy washed Lecrae's feet on some dumb, evil Christian talk show. Embarrassing. Kissing up to the Black Lives Matter thing after Georgia, Florida had the knee on his neck and shoulder blade. Ridiculous. So Joel Friday, shout out to Joel Friday. No longer here, and Big Bump. I said that they appear at the end of the Jesse Lee Peterson show in Rap Verses on the remix of Find a Way. Is that what it is? No, it's not Find a Way. Stand Up. Duh. Yeah, Lil Wayne. I like the fact that he said. I like the fact that he said racism doesn't exist because when he was 12. This white cop said, "Oh, he's a baby," and picked him up and helped him. Anyway. Lil Nasty X is radical homosexuals trying to subvert both rap music and country music. Sick. Base America First also with another super chat. Most musicians, period, are a bunch of liberals, says Hake. They're fake. Even the Christian music are a bunch of fakes. And then my opponent, one of my opponents, Scotsman Earthman Brick stated, I think there's a lot of diversity and divergence in music. It sounds, and so Base America First observes, this sounds less like a refutation and more like a confirmation. Yes, diversity is a sign of evil, and divergence in music, a sign of evil. Narrow is the path. Am I right? Peter from Periscope states with the super chat, pointing out how pretty any female politician's looks. Hake crimes, not hate crimes. I know, anytime there's a female politician, I'm like, she's mildly attractive. Or usually, sometimes I'm like, ugh. Hate crimes. Thank you, Peter from Periscope. Nice to hear from you, man. Appreciate the support. Asmodor over there on Odyssey, ODYSEE.com, responding to my first caller of today, states, caller can't even read easy to understand 16th century English, referring to the King James, I believe, but he thinks others are dumb. Caller also says he believes in eugenics, but would likely not exist if we practiced eugenics. Oh, really? He said that? I didn't pick up on that. Asmodor also states, King James only and ever. Well, I respect you guys. I respect you guys. And nobody has come up with like a competing translation other than that Jesse likes to read the New Jerusalem version, which is findable on catholic.org/Bible or something like that. So it's, I respect that one too. Anyway, before I show you cackling Kamala Harris, let me quickly get to Solomon in California. Solomon, thank you for holding, man. How are you doing?
Doing great. How you doing, Hake?
Doing well. Thank you, man.
Good. I wanted to talk about a couple things. Well, the first one is a caller on Jesse's show mentioned the Apostles' Creed.
Okay. Yeah.
The Apostles' Creed, yeah.
It's
just a statement of faith.
Right. I've heard of the Apostles' Creed, and it doesn't assert, it doesn't say Jesus is God, huh?
No, because he's not God. He's the Son of God.
The Son of God.
That's the earliest Christian belief, that he's the only begotten Son of God, and that the Father Almighty created all things, and that he was begotten of the Virgin Mary, of the seed of David according to the flesh.
Okay.
But that document is dated about 80 A.D. to 150, and that should be the statement of faith on every church's website. Instead, they have all these confusing articles of faith and man-made traditions from their denominations, but that is the original statement of faith for Christians. No Trinity, no weird theology. It's just a simple statement of faith.
And it doesn't push social justice. It doesn't preach social justice mess either. Nice.
Oh no. And
so what is
that?
Somebody said the guy who called in, he said Catholic means something different from Catholic Church. And so
right.
When I look it up on Google, which is evil, and dictionaries are fake news, but it says Catholic is an adjective which means including a wide variety of things, all embracing.
Yeah,
is that just meaning like the variety of, okay, it includes Jews and Gentiles, men and women. Yeah. Is that what it means?
No, it just meant that that was the faith of the churches
including all Christians. Okay. Catholic means including all Christians is one way.
Basically, that statement of faith, the Apostles' Creed, was to refute the heresies of the Ebionites, the Marcionites, and the Gnostics. So it doesn't include all Christians. It just includes the Christians that believed in, just the Apostles' doctrine. So that was a statement of faith to refute the heretics.
Okay.
That denied the virgin birth, that promoted that Jesus wasn't a true man because Jesus was a real man of the seed of David. He had to be the Messiah. And so that stuff, and going to the mark of the beast, because another caller mentioned the mark of the beast being spiritual, and I totally agree with him.
Yeah.
If you read the Bible, if you read 1 John chapter, the epistles of John, and then you read the book of Hebrews, The
Yeah.
mark of the beast is very simple. It's the rejection of Jesus Christ as the Son of God. That's the mark of the beast.
Okay.
So you don't got to worry about a computer chip going into your forehead, but it's that simple thing. And then also wanted to mention about MGTOW.
MGTOW. Okay.
Yeah. That, to me, is the other side of the shekel of feminism. And what it is the Bolshevik communists, the Marxist agenda is to demoralize the family, destroy the family. So what do? They demonize women so that men look at women in an evil way. So now men, this whole, men going their own way, I look at it as just kind of, growing up, we would have thought that was weak.
Right.
Real men know how to handle women. And when I say handle them, I don't mean like dominate them, because that's not right. But they know how to deal with because women are different. They're more sensitive. They're more emotional. But a real man's going to know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
Weak men run away from that.
Okay.
And that's what you're seeing right now in society. Men increasingly are becoming, MGTOW going their own way, homosexuality increasing. Like, for me, I'm 47 years old. I just think it's weird when grown men hang around other men all the time because they don't want to deal with women. You got to be a man, get married, have kids, and raise your family, and be a good husband to your wife.
Okay. Nice.
That's a real man.
Right on, man. Well, I appreciate it, Solomon. Thank you for the
Love you,
input,
brother.
and I agree with that. That you shouldn't be cutting off. I mean, if you've already been married and divorced, you shouldn't get involved with other women because God hates divorce, and I don't even know if He really recognizes that, But you shouldn't be. You should just stay alone at that point. But you shouldn't be. A lot of these MGTOW people, they will sleep around with women, but just not get involved with them any further than that, which that's wrong. And you're right. It's subversive to society. Thanks, man.
Yeah, and it's a communist agenda to get you. They want to demoralize the women, and then they demoralize the man by demoralizing the women, and then it ruins the family.
Yeah.
And so that's what it is. So, if you're a real man, you're not going to use women as an excuse for your failures in life. You look in the mirror, you take responsibility and accountability, and that's how it is.
Nice. Well, I appreciate it, Solomon. Right on.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
You as well. Merry Christmas again.
Happy Advent, brother.
All right. Let me tell you guys about Build Back Better 666. This is not the UN version. This is the Sleazy Joe version, which I guess would be UN too, right? The UN is the United Nations. They're enemies of America. Commie Nonsense Network, CNN reports Senator Joe Manchin, who is supposedly a moderate Democrat. I don't know how you can be a moderate Democrat, a moderate communist. But he's from Virginia? West Virginia. Stated yesterday he won't vote for the Build Back Better Act, which is such a cringy term. So just transparently evil, something that you don't trust, you instinctively know not to trust it, right? Give me a break. That tear down society and build it back better. Stupid. Lies. Effectively ending, Joe Manchin did, negotiations on this version of legislation, at least for this year, that would expand the nation's so-called social safety net, which is a lie. Safety is a lie, especially when it's coming from Democrats and rhinos who are enemies of America, inside of America. It is a huge blow to Sleazy Joe's agenda. That's Sleazy Joe Biden, at a time when his administration is already scrambling to address fallout from the spreading OMICRON variant. There's not much fallout except for fear, because nothing has really happened yet. Nothing has really happened yet. How many people have died from this China virus variant? One person so far that we know of? Maybe more than that by now. Supposedly it's hospitalized a bunch. Supposedly there's no evidence that it's less dangerous or less severe than the Delta India mutation. Omicron is the South Africa thing. Anyway, the West Virginia Democrat has always been a key holdout on this fake Build Back Better legislation. sharing concerns over certain provisions of the massive tax and spending bill and how it may exacerbate soaring inflation in the country. Inflation meaning prices are rising and the wages are not keeping up with that, meaning your money is worth less and less and less and less and less. What a pain. Manchin's would-be support for the bill, which does not exist right now, almost $2 trillion, probably more than that, honestly, spending plan focused on expanding the nation's social safety net, reducing America's, listen to this stupid CNN lie, reducing America's child care and health care costs. That's not true. No government legislation can reduce the actual costs. It'll actually increase the prices of child care and so-called health care. You're not caring for children. You're watching them while the women go to work. You're enabling evil and destruction of the family, by the way. And health care, that's not health care. That is sick care. You get sick, you go to the hospital. That's sick care. It's not health care. And so-called climate change, which of course we all know is major hype. A whole lot of hot air. Necessary for Democrats to pass this legislation. His support is necessary for the Democrats to pass the legislation because they have, 51 people in the Senate? Using a process called budget reconciliation, meaning it would only need 51 votes, right? It's a bill on everything from pre-K, pre-kindergarten. Are you kidding me? Targeting the children. Evil. You don't want Sleazy Joe or any of these Democrats or rhinos anywhere near, or the teachers that they're brainwashing through these colleges with the CRT mess, through the brainwashing the children. Sick. Paid family leave. They hate family. Give me a break. And efforts to curb carbon emissions. Fakes, a whole bunch of fake and evil stuff. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, she's the redhead. I suspect that she dyes her hair. That's just my suspicion. Anyway. She called Manchin's position a breach of his commitments to the president and the senator's colleagues because he's committed to the American people, maybe. Do you think Manchin has any decency? I think he might. I don't know. What's your guys' opinion on Manchin? He's supposedly a pro-life Democrat. Am I right? Those Southerners, West Virginia. Anyway, Manchin is threatening to block, by the way, a change to filibuster rules that would allow Democrats to pass their voting rights bill. Communist. There's no such thing as voting rights. That's a lie. It's a lie. They want to do away with all measures of voter integrity, I say. That's what I say. Anyway, that leads me to, before I get back to calls, cackling Kamala Harris. She's that senator turned vice president. And she shouldn't have been either one. She shouldn't even have been the Attorney General of California. She was California's top cop. And listen to her. On this clip, Fox News reports Harris had reacted sharply after this guy who calls himself Charlamagne the God, T-H-A, the God. Charlamagne the God. What is his real name again? Somebody told me what it was. Lenard no O in Lenard. L-E-N-A-R-D, Larry McKelvey. That's his real name. Lenard Larry McKelvey. McKelvey. Anyway, provoked the vice president, sleazy, cackling Kamala Harris, on Comedy Central's The God's Honest Truth by asking her who America's real president is. And he's all mad, pretending to be mad anyway, at Joe Manchin for not supporting evil. Charlamagne the God is evil, apparently. And you will recall, well, I'll tell you that afterwards, hopefully, if I remember. Listen to this clip, 90 seconds long or so, maybe less, maybe more. Charlamagne on Comedy Central confronts phony cackling Kamala Harris about Joe Manchin holding up the Build Back Better 666 satanic bill. Listen to this.
Who's the superhero that's going to speak against Joe Manchin? No. I want to know who's the real president of this country. Is it Joe Biden or Joe Manchin?
I'm sorry. I interrupted. I think the vice president can hear you. It's Simone. I'm so sorry, Charlamagne. We have to
She can hear me.
You hear me? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me, Madam Vice
Okay, so
President?
I'm sorry. You got it right.
Oh.
So I'm sorry to interrupt.
They're acting like they can't hear me, yo.
I can hear you.
Oh, so
I can hear you.
who's the real president of this country? Is it Joe Manchin or Joe Biden, Madam Vice President?
Come on, Charlamagne.
Come
on. It's Joe Biden.
I can't tell sometimes.
No. It's Joe Biden. And don't start talking like a Republican about asking whether or not he's president.
Do you think Joe Manchin is a problem?
It's Joe Biden, and I'm vice president, and my name is Kamala Harris. The reality is, because we are in office, we do the things like the child tax credit, which is going to reduce black child poverty by 50%, on track to do that. We do things that are about saying that our Department of Justice is going to do these investigations and require that we end chokeholds and have body cameras. It is the work of saying we're going to get lead out of pipes and paint because our babies are suffering because of that. It is the work of saying people who ride public transit deserve the same kind of dignity that anybody else does. So let's improve that system. It is the work of saying that we have got to bring down prescription drug costs because folks who have
I want you
diabetes.
to know that Madam Vice President, that Kamala Harris, that's the one I like. That's the one that was putting the pressure on people in Senate hearings. That's the one I'd like to see more often out here in these streets. Thank you for joining us, Madam Vice President.
I'm glad to be with you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.
What a kiss up. Charlamagne the God, I will remind you. Why did she sounded like she was on the verge of tears. What a fake. Ending chokeholds. We need to bring back chokeholds, by the way. Make chokeholds better. Charlamagne the God, real name Lenard Larry McKelvey, born June 29, 1978. He said, I didn't vote for Joe Biden. I voted for Kamala Harris. What a dumb, evil, into his blackness person. Sorry, kids. I said dumb. And parents. Sorry, parents. Embarrassing. And why does she act all like... Is this her real accent? I know that she grew up around Canada and then Oakland area, but nicer part of Oakland area. What is that B word name? Berkeley? She grew up around Berkeley, I think. Did she learn black talk like that? Obama tries to talk all black sometimes like that too, but that's so fake. To me, it seems fake. You need to chokehold it safer, says Bernie Mac. Yeah. Anyway. Embarrassing. And then he's all kissing up. That's the Kamala Harris I like to see. Horrific. And by the way, Barack Obama once said, back when she was the Attorney General for California, can you believe it? It's like Keith Ellison, the communist pro-Antifa, and his son is pro-Antifa too, and he's a politician too. Pro-Antifa black, light-skinned black, which means he's radical in common practice, right? Muslim swearing his oath of office on a Quran instead of a Bible. Keith Ellison was Attorney General for what, Minnesota or wherever that white cop got railroaded for putting the knee on the neck of Georgia, Florida. Nemo says, we need police reform. Cops should be trained in jiu-jitsu and silent prayer. Nice. Well, he didn't say that, but I'm putting that in instead. Chokeholds, applied properly, are a very safe way to diffuse a situation. Yeah, remember the Australian police chokeholded a white guy over this fake communist shutdowns in the name of the China virus. Anyway, a 43-year-old man kissing up to cackling Kamala Harris, who Obama called her one of the prettiest or most attractive or something like that attorneys general in America. And he got all in trouble for that. And he had to apologize because it's sexist to call a woman pretty anymore. And plus, he's married. And some people don't think that his wife is that pretty. Anyway. Shameful, huh? Ridiculous. And she's all lifting up her pointer finger and like talking at you like this, or at him. All preaching. Ridiculous. Let me get to Rick in Maine. Rick, how are you doing?
Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Good morning. Doing fine.
All right. What a bunch of useful idiots we have in government.
Yeah, true.
This article you did in Jesse's show on the first break there, first hour break.
Yeah.
Omicron. My brother has it.
Okay.
He's in the hospital.
He's hospitalized over it.
Yes, he is.
Is he? What is he in his 50s or 60s or 70s or late 40s?
61.
61. Is he a generally healthy man, or is he? Before this happened, was he generally healthy and fit, or was he unhealthy beforehand?
Well, he's healthy, but he's heavy.
Oh, okay. All right.
But,
and so is it scary for him right now? Is it like death
yeah.
at his door?
Family. Now, they caught it in time.
Okay.
And he's doing a lot better today. I spoke with him earlier.
Good, man.
And when he went in, they diagnosed with the flu, Omicron, and pneumonia.
Wow. All three?
And he's got all three.
Yeah.
He's got 3 blood clots that's causing him a lot of trouble. They're working on that right now. They're working on getting his breathing back.
Yeah.
And the two of the 3 blood clots was one that was underneath his heart, so it was restricting his blood flow. And the other one was in his right lung, incapacitating that. So they're working on that. The other one's in his leg. They're working on all 3 of them. But he is doing better. He's gaining ground, so I'm hopeful, so is everybody else. We're just taking it day by day.
Yeah.
He's a fighter.
Good, man.
He's a fighter, and he's stubborn.
Nice.
Like I am.
Had he been quote unquote vaccinated before or booster shotted?
No.
Was he?
No.
Was he resistant to the idea of getting quote unquote vaccinated?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's understandable, man.
Yeah.
Because you take a risk with that too.
That door, yeah. Once you open that door, you're at the government's mercy.
Yeah.
And you've got to keep on getting them and getting them and getting them and getting them and getting them. You know, it's just like a drug, just like a drug dealer. And Bob always says all the pharmacists in this country are no more than legalized drug dealers.
I know.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's right.
Well, I wish him well.
So,
I wish you and your family well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, do you, in your opinion, is this Omicron thing, is it as bad as, which you're no expert, of course, none of us are, including the experts aren't even experts.
Right.
Is it worse or better than the other strains of this China virus?
Well, according to what I've found out, what I've been told, of course, this is all by word of mouth, you know, as it is.
Yep.
If you get this at first, you know, as a first
infection,
exposure,
yeah,
we'll put it that way.
Yep.
Then it can be worse.
Oh, okay.
But if you had one of the other 2 or the other 2 before, then it works out as a positive.
Okay. It's kind of like getting Omicron if you've already had the China virus is kind of like a booster shot but natural.
Well, it's a higher defense against the disease.
Right, because you already have some natural immunity.
infection.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I've heard speculation that the Omicron, some have speculated, and I don't know if it's true or not, that the Omicron is side effects from the vaccine itself. Some have said that. And so who knows what the truth is? And how do they distinguish? How do they diagnose and distinguish between these different variants? Are they able to actually do that? I wonder.
Well, right now, as people like to say, we're all in smoke and mirrors right now because nobody knows anything absolutely definite.
Yeah, all we know is your brother is sick and he has apparently had some blood clots and is in the hospital. But in terms of what the real thing is, we don't. We're relying on their word. So, man,
my best advice right now, anyway, take it or leave it. But if you start feeling bad, go get it checked.
Yeah,
it's better if you get this. If you catch this stuff in the early stages,
true,
rather than wait like he did. He's stubborn as an ox, anyway.
Yeah,
and he waited and waited, and now he's paying the fiddler for dancing to the music.
But it is a little concerning. I understand people's hesitation to go to the hospital. Because the hospitals are where all the sick people are. So you don't necessarily want to get their disease. So it's a mess. They're dirty.
But like I said, you don't necessarily have to go to the hospital.
True.
But go to a doctor, get it checked. That way, if it happens that you do contract this mess, you caught it in the early stages, and you've got a much better chance of surviving it.
Yeah. Would you or your brother promote or recommend people who are older or heavier or whatever have health issues to get the vaccine, or would you just still say no to getting any of these so-called vaccines? In your opinion,
I'm going neutral. It's an individual's choice.
Right.
If you want to get that stuff, go get it.
That's my sentiment on it too, man.
Use common sense. I know that's something that doesn't exist anymore these days.
Yeah.
But try and use your own best judgment. If something tells you or tugs at you and tells you, okay, no, this is not a good thing, don't do it.
And
it's plain and simple. You listen to God's silent voice and you turn around and go against it, you get what you pay for.
Yeah. And everybody should be paying attention to their health because they've been allowing porous borders, the illegal alien disease, for years, decades now. They don't care about us. They've let the homeless people get out of control. Cops are getting tuberculosis and typhoid and all these weird things from the dirty rats.
We're revisiting diseases that have not been in this country for years.
Yeah.
And it's all because of these people coming in and bringing it into us.
Yep. So eat healthy, guys. Get active. Be wise. Get your rest. And get healthy because tough times are being imposed on us by the wolves in sheep's clothing. What a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Rick. I appreciate it, man. It's good to hear from you.
Okay, brother. Take care.
You too. Wow. We are at the top of the hour. Guys, I lied to you again. Or I was mistaken and it turned out to be false, right? I was mistaken. Let's put it that way. So I'm not going to play any more Sufjan Stevens, at least not this week, I don't think. I don't think I'll change my mind. I am going to play instead for you some more Christmas music, though. Phil Hahn. Great singer. H-A-H-N. It's not an Asian guy. H-A-H-N. Phil Hahn. And Steve Johnson. No N at the end, right? Steve Johnson. This track is a Christmas song entitled What Child Is This? Couple of decent singers. Enjoy, and I'll be right back for hour 2. Hang tight, guys.
What child is this who laid to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping? Whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch are keeping. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary. Why lies he in such mean estate, where ox and ass are feeding? Good Christians fear, for sinners hear, the silent word is pleading. Nail, spear shall pierce him through, the cross be borne for me, for you. Hail, hail, the Word made flesh, the babe, the Son of Mary.
How you liking it, guys? Guitar wasn't too bad right there, says John Rios. Nice. Thank you for bearing with me through that. Some nice music. Hake on lead vocals. Indeed. Think I can sing? I think I can sing. I think anybody could sing. I'm going to read some more super chats, guys, but first let me read a few of the regular live chat here for the benefit of the podcast listeners. And I will get back to calls as well. You can call in 888-775-3773. Hake, seek musical therapy, bro. Thank you, Black Stepdad. Nice to hear from you. By the way, Matt the American says, sure, if you have a heart attack, you should probably go to the hospital. But if you catch a cold, stay home. Your mind has heard nothing but lies about how bad this is. The tests never worked, says Matt the American. And it may be wise to stay home for certain things, for sure. Yeah. Okay, this is music I can handle, says Angela Northcutt. Hake, step away from the music, says Richie. Dang, I'm sorry for making fun of you, Hake, says Based Whigger. I trust Rick as much as I trust Fauci, says RK SoCal. God bless his heart. I know he probably means well, says RK SoCal. He's not a liar, though. Anyway, the number one thing cancer patients are deficient in is zinc. Take zinc, says urinal cake sorcerer. Are people even getting flu shots anymore? Did the flu just disappear? Asks Ghost Rider. I don't know. Some have said, even on the internet, that this is the flu. Who knows? Less sun, less vitamin D, my friends. Most Americans are already deficient, studies say, in vitamin D. Get some sunshine, guys. That's from Jim Justice. Especially in these winter times, it's tough for some people, especially when it's under 60 degrees, to go outside and get some sunshine. Ashy Dog says, Jake Paul brought back White Boy Winter. White Boy Winter. Yeah, I heard that. Those Paul brothers, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, I respect those guys. They are physically pretty strong, successful in the YouTube world, a little weak in terms of spirit, maybe, in terms of standing on what's right and truth and stuff. I think Logan Paul kissed up to Black Lives Matter. And then he did that thing in Suicide Forest over in Japan, and he got in trouble for it. I think it's mainly because he's white. Hake has no empathy, says Misty8967. Or 8976. Hake finally playing Christmas music. Yeah. Better than Sufjan. Sufjan? Music boy. Nice 80s ballet Christmas music. Yeah. And some super chats over here from Asmodor in the Odyssey, ODYSEE.com/@the Hake Report. The problem isn't society demoralizing women. It's that society has empowered women over men. Interesting point. The callers take that the problem with women is that men aren't men enough to deal with them is silly and simpish. I, too, disagree with MGTOW, goes on Asmodor. Asmodor goes on. But to say you're just not man enough to hold on to a woman when these women have complete legal supremacy and every advantage while devaluing themselves by sleeping around is just lame. So that's Asmodor. And Asmodor also responds to cackling Kamala Harris turning black all of a sudden. She doesn't do a fake black accent as well as Hillary Clinton's fake black accent. I don't feel no ways tired. I feel like going on from where I started from. Nobody told me that would be easy. You guys heard that clip? Oh my gosh. And she gets all the blacks all applauding. This is in a black church. She's campaigning in a black church because black churches don't have any worry or shame about pushing politics in church. We too should be so shameless. Did you know that I don't believe anyone, I could be wrong about this, but I don't believe that anyone has actually been prosecuted or whatever for pushing politics in church, had their 501c3 status taken away because of that. And actually, Trump wanted to get rid of that whole Johnson Amendment thing because it's a freedom of speech thing. Shameful. I think it was, is Johnson Amendment referring to LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, the evil, sleazy Democrat who bribed the blacks to be all Democrat and pathetic? I think it might have been. He was anti-Christian too, apparently. What a mess. Not a big surprise. Not a big surprise. Let me share with you a little internet drama that took place late last week. And I meant to show this to you guys on Friday. You guys ever heard of R.A., the Rugged Man? I have a photograph with him because he appeared on, I believe, The Fallen State with Jesse Lee Peterson, and maybe also on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. He was a rapper. I had never heard of him, but I saw one of his raps recently, or parts of one of his raps, and there's like these midgets, famous midget, little people, little dudes, in this rap music video, and it's all weird. It's like at a junkyard where they're like, these big cranes are picking up cars and smashing the stuff, and then it's picking up the midget, pretending like it's going to pick up the midget, and there's these monster-looking people who look like they're either aliens or back in the 50s, Chernobyl-type weird-looking guys, and they're like torturing the midgets, and he's talking trash about the mainstream media, and Joe Biden is racist and other cringy, somewhat independent thinking, but also still cringy type stuff. That's R.A., the rugged man. He's white, I think, from New York or something like that. And so he's a former guest on JLP. And he was on the, I don't know what he's promoting, but apparently Tim Pool interviewed him. And he was also on like Fox News with Greg Gutfeld. I'll show you a clip from that. Tim Pool, if you're not familiar, he was documenting riots and stuff. He, I think, has gone overseas. He kissed up to the blacks with by going into Ferguson, Missouri, and documenting their plight. It's like I think it might be mostly black town, Ferguson, Missouri. It's a suburb of, St. Louis or something like that? Tim Pool's from Chicago. He's documented Chicago shootings, but he's a liberal. But then he turned more and more away from like the Antifa type liberal to be an independent thinker, if you will. So people think that he's conservative, but he's not. They think that Joe Rogan is conservative. He's not. Those people are like pro-Obama, anti-racist, which is fake. Anyway, Tim Pool was trending on Twitter Friday morning. I clicked on it, and I see R.A. the Rugged Man. SissyCat18 tweeted it at midnight Friday morning. Tim Pool's guest tonight, meaning I guess apparently Thursday night, had a meltdown, called Tim Pool a B-word multiple times. That word that JLP uses, but I grew up in a feminist world where they pretended that the B word is a bad word. And so I just have that habit, right, of not saying the B word. But back in the day, it was not a bad word, nor was the N word. But now it's anti-racist and anti-man, meaning anti-white, and anti-man, meaning so-called feminist. So they turned B word into a bad word. But he called him a B word multiple times, flew out of his chair and slapped the microphone before going off on Tim Pool in a very threatening and unprofessional manner, describes SissyCat18. This is typical behavior from the left when their positions are challenged. Whatever. R. Reddington, something like that, tweeted, white dude / rapper who thinks he is an oppressed black man. It's not exactly what he thinks, I don't think. Goes apes, bleep, on Tim Pool for being too white, even though Tim Pool made a $100,000 documentary about black oppression. Oh, gosh. It's not oppression. And they're talking about the Ferguson thing. Ferguson, they're a mess unto themselves. I'll just side note. You can't even make this stuff up. So, cringy. But here is the clip, 14A. I got this from Limitless Power. I guess he's recording from his cell phone, apparently, on the computer, which is playing this thing. So it's the audio is all funny and the angle is all funny. But here is R.A. the Rugged Man. Seems like a nice guy. Every bit as genuine as Tim Pool. Maybe more so, who knows. And he's wearing, by the way, a good dad gang hat. He calls himself a good dad because he's a father. So here he is going off, and that's not the end of the story, so don't be quick to judge him. But listen to this. He's going off kind of crazy because they're having a disagreement. Listen to this.
You're a racist prick. Here's my hour-long documentary about the black struggle in Ferguson.
Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah. Oh, great. $100,000 budget. James Baldwin interviews with people on the ground to talk about what they've been through, and you have the nerve to come up to me and tell me my experiences don't matter when I'm fighting the fight.
Stop screaming, first of all. Talk to me like I'm because I'm not that guy.
Yeah, you are. You actually are, dude. Yeah. You are that guy.
I'm not that guy.
All right.
Stop screaming at
Let's calm down.
You
You think you can
calm down? God, you don't disrespect me, bitch.
What did you do to me? Did you disrespect me?
Nah, you start raising
Did
your
you-
voice to me like I'm some sucker.
Did you laugh at me?
Yeah, laugh.
Did you disrespect me? I was nice to you, bro. I was being nice.
Raising your voice to me like I'm your son, bitch.
You raised
I'm
your
not
voice
gonna
to
deal
me?
with that.
Bro, I said
raised my voice
I
to
respected
nobody.
you.
You wouldn't shut
I
the f up
appreciated
with that
you.
raising your voice.
I stopped when you told me to. You said lower your voice, so I lowered my voice. I told you I respected you coming. It was a good show.
So that was Tim Pool defending his behavior with R.A. the Rugged Man. R.A. the Rugged Man didn't act like that with JLP, by the way, just FYI. Of course, JLP's black. But also JLP has I think he has a better spirit than this guy who can be kind of a punk. So here, to give you a fuller part of the story, here's clip 14B. Limitless Power shares a heart emoji when R.A. apologizes, and he explains some woman, apparently like a therapist or somebody. Oh, man, this guy is so in the world and of the world. Some woman, I think a psychologist, told him he has an explosive disorder. And then he's speculating about, oh, my kids are going to see this. But they already know I'm crazy. They already know daddy's crazy. So listen to R.A. apologizing, and everybody kisses and makes up on this podcast.
And then she said I had like a explosive, some kind of disorder, where it's you get explosive disorder. What? Intermittent explosive disorder or some shit like that. So what happens is
Interesting.
You go extra, and then afterwards you feel real bad and sad about it, and you feel you up, and you're kind of like like you're supposed to keep your cool. So I want to apologize about my outburst because that was a little crazy. And
I outbursted too, man.
Yeah.
Now you have to sing the Peace, Love, and Harmony song together in a collaboration.
And the thing that sucks is that, that's the clip they take, and look, this, so it is what it. But you know what? I don't give a anyway. What are you gonna do? Ruin my life? I don't care. Put a clip of me going crazy. My kids, they know Daddy's a weirdo, and so when I'm dead and they go on the internet and see me doing weird shit, he's still a great dad. Yeah. So as long as you're a great dad, so if they got a couple little snippets of me acting up, it is what it is, So.
Well, dude, I appreciate you coming, man.
Yes. Yeah. So much.
We made it out alive. We had a good conversation. I think it was a good conversation. And I'm glad you came.
When no one dies, that's a good thing.
I like that.
Hey, that's that guy. That guy's a liberal, kind of, but he's also like an independent thinker, I think. I'm blanking. Who's that guy at the end? The blonde-haired guy. You guys know who that is? Oh, man. Do you know who that is? I've seen him, and he actually interviewed one of the independent journalists who documented. I'm talking about one of the guys who was helping produce this show, apparently. Oh, man. You guys know who this is? The blonde guy? I think he was on the same team with that woman, Cassandra Fairbanks, before she went off to do Luke, We Are Change. Luke, We Are Change. Thank you, Misty8976. Yeah, that was Luke, We Are Change. He's like a liberal, but he's an independent-minded liberal, I think. Kind of like Tim Pool, but even more so independent-minded, in my opinion. Luke, We Are Change. He talked about, sorry, James, I'm audio only, says Jib Jab. Luke Bryan is his name, as suggests Tex-Mex. Yeah, that guy, he's Luke at We Are Change. Yeah, right. We Are Change is it's an independent outlet, media outlet. And they're like, oh, they have this product, this t-shirt or hoodie or whatever. It says, if you can question it, it's science. If you can't question it, it's propaganda. Good point, right? And he documented even back in the Charlottesville thing. I consider him a friend of America because with the Charlottesville Unite the Right rally, which turned into a riot when the police allowed Antifa and Black Lives Matter to attack the mostly peaceful whites, he interviewed Ford Fisher, I believe it was. Ford Fisher is a street guy. Luke Rudkowski. Thank you, Big Bump. He interviewed Ford Fischer, who said that primarily the violence and the aggression was from the left against the whites. FYI. That's why I consider... That alone is why I consider him a friend of America. There's certain journalists who are like liberal, but they're independent-minded, so I consider them American. Some black guy. You guys remember some black guy, Derek? He was a former JLP guest. He claimed, and I'm not sure if he's joking. Is this true? SBG, as some black guy. Derek, he's on the undercard in the Jake Paul fight this past Saturday. Is that true? Was R.A. the rugged man? I heard that he's super into boxing, so he would have beaten up. Maybe. Who knows? He didn't, though. Was he on the undercard for the Jake Paul fight? I heard that Jake Paul beat another black guy. Right on. Right on. White boy winter. White boy winner. Winter. Get it? Anyway, here's one more clip just to give you R.A. the Rugged Man a more balanced picture of R.A. He was on Fox News with Greg Gutfeld recently, I think. Recently? Apparently this seems sort of recent because it's talking about the melodrama about that black guy who used to be funny. He was a black white supremacist. Jib Jab, get on Odyssey. Taking care of business bears requesting. But shout out to the Twitch people. Here is R.A., the Rugged Man, clip 15, I think. On Greg Gutfeld's late night show, I guess it is, on Fox News, talking about the old thing with Dave Chappelle. Remember Dave Chappelle made fun of the transgenders and other stuff on his Netflix special, and everybody freaked out, meaning the SJWs did. Here is R.A. talking like, and also talking about he was a father, and he followed a woman. Listen to this.
R.A., welcome back. Haven't seen you in years.
Yeah, I moved to another country.
Yeah, Berlin.
They tried to blame it because I moved around when Trump and Hillary, was going at each other, and they was, oh, he left the country because of Trump and Hillary. I had kids out there, so I left. To be with my children. I wasn't afraid of Trump and Hillary. So
you followed a woman.
Nice.
Yeah, nice school teacher out there.
Greg, it happens.
What do you make of this this trend?
Well, the whole thing, especially with Dave Chappelle, that's what I see the most. And what happens is you get like Deadspin, a racist white, organization, owned by racist white people, and then they go, well, he doesn't have our opinion, so let's get a black writer to write the column, so they won't see our racism. And then he's speaking for us, and see, this is how the black community feels. No, that's one black writer. Yeah. And if you really look at, the majority of the black community, they all have Dave Chappelle's back. Like you look at every the real people, not just Twitter people. Right. Dave Chappelle's my man. He's a genius. He's a legend. He's one of the greats. He's the GOAT. So they're not too offended by Dave Chappelle. And most of them, most of the world grew up on comedy. This new Red Fox,
oh God,
Lenny Bruce and all of that stuff. So now it's time to, Dave offended us. Nah, so we're not offended by that.
Yeah.
Whatever. Gutfeld is a gatekeeper. Yeah, some people say, I think Tex-Mex says he's not funny. I don't know why he has his show, but I'm glad that he's popular. Yeah. I mean, who is funny anymore? Who's allowed on TV? What a mess. Speaking of funny and speaking of boxing, I heard that there has been raised $2.5 million for Sam Hyde, who is like an independent comedian, video editor, extraordinaire, podcast guy, kind of sort of thing. He used to be on... He used to be on MDE, $1 Million Entertainment or something like that? On Cartoon Network, yeah. And then he got probably canceled because he doesn't hate whites enough. He doesn't hate whites at all, I don't think. He challenged Woke Bay. That guy, Hassan Piker, not the real Hassan, not the sand blip guy. Hassan, not Hassan with double S, Hassan with one S, the communist, the Young Turks nephew of Cenk Uygur. Chunk yogurt, to quote my friend from Phoenix. Shout out to Jay. He challenged Hassan is scared. I saw a thing where Hassan is punching a bag. A little slow, maybe. But he looks relatively strong, relatively fit. But anyway, Hassan Piker is like this pro-Antifa guy on Twitch who used the word, C word, cracker. And then he got banned from Twitch, at least temporarily. And so to defend the white people and to defend civil rights, the great Sam Hyde has challenged him to a fight, raising $2.5 million in crypto. But his name is banned from Reddit, and it's a mess. It's a mess. Yeah. So that's that. That's some interesting info. Little side note there. Shout out to Sam Hyde. Right on. Let me get to, before I show you some black girls fighting, let me get to Robert in Kansas. Wants to talk about cackling Kamala Harris and evil Hillary Clinton. Robert in Kansas, how are you?
Damn, James, kept me on hold, man. I don't even know what I called in for now.
Did you not just hear me?
Yeah, you said
I didn't keep you on hold that long.
No, it's okay, man. You're running a radio show. I don't even know what that's like.
So I've seen you. I know. I've seen you in the chat, man, and you seem to.
I'm not in the chat, bro.
You seemed to go off the deep end.
I'm not in the chat.
I don't know what it was. I don't see you in my chat right now, necessarily. I don't know. But I'm talking about, I happened to catch The Fallen State with Jesse Lee Peterson. And you were just going off. We ended up banning some of your accounts because you were just crossing lines like crazy. You were acting like the Black Hebrew Israelites, man.
I'm black, James. You didn't know that about me?
What? First of all,
I'm a black Jew.
First of all, you owe an apology because that was just off the deep end, man. I'm serious. And second, what happened? What was that? What triggered you?
Hey, the earth is flat, James. The earth is flat, and I'm tired of your bullshit.
Okay, you can't be cussing, man. Robert is banned from the show. What a shame. What a shame. Not good. Anyway, guys, let's do some super chats. Aw, Robert was a friend, I thought. But that's all right. Okay. Let me read a few super chats. Tyrone Woodley. Jake Paul beat him twice, says your girlfriend, on Odyssey, ODYSEE.com/@the Hake Report. Tyrone also lost a fight with a white MAGA supporting UFC fighter, notably after the press interview where he answered every question with Black Lives Matter. Oh my gosh. Imagine. That's a typical angry, black-hearted black response. That's like saying, in response to owing an apology and in response to what triggered you, saying, the earth is flat and I'm tired of your bogus speech. But he didn't say bogus speech. Not good. Not good. You guys need the silent prayer. And I'm referring to Tyrone Woodley. And my friend, I don't know, the caller whom I had to ban because he crossed a line. Crossed a line. Wow, he answered every question. I can just picture that. Black Lives Matter. Just asked a question. What do you think about your upcoming fight with Jake Paul? Black Lives Matter. Cringe. or with the MAGA supporting UFC fighter. Talk about misguided, getting into the wrong things. And it is infecting even some of the whites, although this guy claims that he's black. His soul is, definitely. Tyrone Woodley. Wow. I had heard something to that effect. Does Jake Paul support BLM? Please tell me no. I think that the other Paul brother, the older one, I think he did, though. Just totally kissing up. Groveling. Granted, he was under a lot of pressure. He makes a lot of money, and he's a young guy, and he doesn't live in, like, the world in which he's exposed to the truth a lot, like we are. I don't even know if he was raised Christian. He's from Ohio, I think. Those Paul brothers. Big-time YouTubers. Very popular. I respect the hustle. Of course. Well, thank you, your girlfriend, for the tips. Let me just double check to make sure that I got to all of the super chats. There was a couple of others left. Indeed, Asmodor. Thank you, sir. Referring to cackling Kamala Harris and phony, extra phony Hillary Clinton. Dan East says the Earth is a sphere. Some say it's a slightly egg-shaped. And hilly. Yep. So, let me tell you guys about what is going on in these airports. I showed you another clip of blacks at an airport, black females at an airport, going crazy. And in that same clip, that same day, I showed you a clip, although it's hard to keep up with the out-of-control blacks with out-of-control white clips. You just don't find as many because they're suppressed. Yeah, right. Here is more people acting black. Black on the inside, meaning dark. No light. Hey, how can you have respect for Jake Paul? Partly because he's hated. Partly because he's hated. Here is clip 13. This is from Matt Walsh blog on Twitter. A guy who has appeared on the Jesse Lee Peterson show before. He used to be an independent blogger. Then he went to The Blaze. Then he went to something else. And then he went to that Jewish one, Daily Wire. Shout out to the Daily Wire. They have some... I think Matt Walsh is a Catholic. I think... who's that other guy who's Jewish and then he turned Christian? Friend of Jesse Lee Peterson. Andrew Klavan. It has Andrew Klavan. And it has the great Michael Knowles. And, of course, it's run by that guy, Ben Shapiro. So Matt Walsh tweeted out bang-in tweets video from an account that posts viral videos, and he wrote, I can't walk 2 steps at the airport without getting yelled at for not wearing a mask, my mask, yet these people stage a WWE, which is short for World Wrestling Entertainment. Used to be WWF when I was a kid. World Wrestling Federation. Shameful. They changed their name. Should have made the animal rights people change their name. In the middle of a terminal and no one intervenes. White privilege works in funny ways. So look at this clip, 13, if you can watch. And if not, listen. You will hear a bunch of black girls fighting. One black guy gets involved a little bit, it seems like. And then he jumps in and jumps out. And 2 different fights in the middle of the airport. In the middle of the airport. Listen to this or watch.
I love it.
Sorry for the noisy mess.
Yeah.
I think I bleeped it. 3 people, 3 black ladies fighting. Ladies, right? One guy tries to, break it up? There's a black guy who's pounding on somebody. Ran away. Teenagers, or no? It seemed like, oh man, that guy got him though, and he threw a punch. I thought he was going to break it up. Maybe he did kind of break it up. Seems like the men are less out of control than the women. Man, what a mess. my gosh, somebody picked up a stanchion. Oh, don't throw that thing. Whoa. I haven't seen that part. Picked up one of those stands that holds the aisle thing. Wow. Why do men not stop this mess? Asks Tex-Mex. Diversity is our strength. Peaceful protesters. Embarrassing animals, says Super Dave. Yeah, they're acting crazy. Matt Walsh followed up with a tweet saying, by the way, I looked it up, and I don't know where this was. He doesn't say either, I don't think. Looked it up. Nobody was arrested for this. No repercussions of any kind. Crazy. Some dumb guy, black guy maybe, K-Patty19, says black people literally get the police called on them. He's responding to Matt Walsh, right? For babysitting, cashing checks at a bank, minding their own business when walking to school. But you all think the police weren't called when they're fighting inside an airport? LM blank O. Whatever, man. Another dumb guy, probably black. Sun Majesty sounds like a black name, right? On Twitter, tweeted that white on white and white on brown Latina. Brown Latina on white, too. Females fighting in that store video. He tweeted out that females fighting in the store. Whites and Hispanic. That I played earlier last week. And asked, why is it never these people when it's white on white, Matt? And I say, because they're acting black. Soul is black. And all too many, despite what the guy who denies, deceit, deludes, and diminishes, phony people that, like, for example, Joe from Arizona who calls in saying, only 1%. If they were never charged or arrested, maybe this doesn't count as part of that 1.05% that Joe pretends is the only number of blacks who are commit violent crimes. Is this a violent crime? I don't know. It seems rambunctious for sure. Yet another dumb guy. I don't think this guy's a black. Caleb Pearson. Caleb with a K. Normally Caleb is supposed to be with a C. Like Joshua and Caleb in the Bible, the Old Testament. Video is a single shortened point of view. I get the game of using scenarios to point out indifference, but this seems like it's a fight. Using this to show the ignorance of the idea of white privilege is a fail. I feel like it's reaching a bit because whites act a little like they don't wear a mask, right? They don't want to wear a mask. And then they get arrested for not wearing a mask or something. White privilege is the privilege of being raised better so you don't end up acting like this. And you don't resign to failure and resentment and screaming racism at every little thing when people call you out for your messed up behavior and bad attitude with the fake excuse of racism. And you're not prone to falsely accusing white people of racism. That's the benefit of being white. You don't have the excuse. You don't have the excuse. Kind of like Dylan Roof, he didn't have the excuse of being, oh, it's just the racism against me. Although he started to probably think that way because it is an attack on the whites. What a mess, huh? What a mess. I cracked. Speaking of that, this attack on the whites, there's these, the CRT stuff, critical race theory, that's just the tip of the iceberg, if you will. Dumb, deceived liberals saying, this is going back to something that I talked about a little bit last week. CRT is not taught in schools. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, passed a Stop Woke Act, which is something about protecting the children, parents, and employees, right? Because employees are being forced to pretend that there's this racism thing going on in the world. I don't know if you heard on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, but there was a report that if you haven't heard it yet, you may yet. If you haven't heard it today, check it out today. You may hear it later. That there's sleazy Joe Biden wants to give handouts to doctors who practice anti-racism. Stupid. Anyway, CRT, they say CRT is not taught in schools to kids, right? This is false, in part because teachers are brainwashed with it throughout the colleges and universities. Duh. Including private Christian colleges and seminaries. Seminaries are some of the worst places on earth. They have the gays, they have the transgenders, and they are pretending to be Christian. Generations of these people become teachers themselves. Call no man teacher, right? Or woman, much less woman. And they've taught, quote unquote, brainwashed, misled younger children. It's such a great example of gaslighting. Gaslighting is when you turn down the gaslight, or a husband, this is from a movie, a husband turned down the gaslight to drive his wife crazy. She's all, hey, the light seems dimmer. He's all, no, the light is not dimmer. You're just going crazy. And she went crazy because he lied to her and she didn't know what the truth was. Just lying to your face at what you see plain as day, right? It's like pretending black crime is not the problem white cops are. Please. Here's a lying woman, Bernice King. She's on Twitter at B.A. King, right? B-E-A King, K-I-N-G. I think she's like a daughter or something like that of MLK. Don't harass her, obviously, right? Be right. But this woman is lying. She goes, fear-mongering regarding hashtag CRT, and she's responding because Ron DeSantis invoked, I guess, judging by character instead of color, right? That's the famous line from MLK. That's the only line that most of us know, where white children and black children will be judged by the content of their character and not on color. Which, who knows where that guy was really coming from? I don't know. But there is going to be a nice Sunday service about him coming up. Archive Sunday service throwback this Wednesday, I believe. But that's a side note. Bernice King says, fear-mongering regarding CRT hashtag is intended to usher in the banning of any teaching of substance on the history of slavery and racism. I'm acting like she has a gruff voice, right? And on current devastation of racism, I oppose these efforts. I don't know if I've ever heard this woman talk. And I oppose quoting my father to facilitate that fear and accomplish that banning. What an evil woman, huh? What a lying, evil, sick woman. She hates blacks. She hates everybody. She hates whites, obviously. She hates children. Do you want to dig up that clip from Ron DeSantis from the 17th, clip 11 from Friday? It's about 48 seconds. It's Ron DeSantis talking about the CRT mess. I might play it again. There's many examples of this stuff being pushed on kids. And then I will get to your calls, guys. Christopher Ruffo. I think some of you guys may have mixed feelings about him. I don't know. I don't know much about him. But he appears on Fox News a lot. He tweeted on Thursday, a public high school in suburban Chicago, suburbs, right, has created a racially segregated field trip program for students of color. And he posts a whole thread. In a statement, the principal of Downers Grove South, Ed Schwartz, told him that the school is planned the racially segregated program to, quote, to provide the opportunity for students of color to be partnered with a group of teachers who look like them and have similar life experiences. How shallow. Teaching the kids to be shallow and blind brainwashed. Rufo tweets, I have documented multiple cases of public institutions promoting segregation for social justice. How about segregation for the people's right to segregate, right? This practice can be traced back to critical race theory, which teaches that white and black students often need separate pedagogies and spaces. The father of critical race theory, Harvard law professor Derek Bell, was a severe critic of the Supreme Court's Brown versus Board of Education hearing, which did away with people's right to segregate inside the schools, right? Something like that. Or at least local people's right to do that. Local politicians. Bell argued that racially segregated schools could be positive for black students, provided they obtain equal funding and resources, begging for money. Shameful. Listen to Ron DeSantis talking about this mess. when he's doing the Stop Woke Act, which I don't know, might be good. Listen to this.
And I think what you see now with the rise of this woke ideology is an attempt to really delegitimize our history and to delegitimize our institutions.
Yep.
And I view the wokeness as a form of cultural Marxism. They want to tear... They want to just, it's not just, people say, oh, they're leftists or socialists. It's not just like taxes and all that. Yeah, they do want that, and that's not good. But they really want to tear at the fabric of our society and our culture and things that really we've taken for granted, like the ability of parents to direct the upbringing of their kids.
Crazy, huh? And he's right about that. He points out that the stuff that they're pushing is sick. Over in San Diego, according to the Epoch Times, which I didn't listen to his whole speech, right? According to the Epoch Times, Ron DeSantis of Florida talks about San Diego, California public schools underwent training that accused white teachers of being colonizers on stolen land and told them, you are racist and you are upholding racist ideas, structures, and policies. There's this black fat girl who did this thing. All white people are racist. I don't know where that was. I think that was Ashley Shankleford. I forget what her name was. And they recommended that teachers undergo anti-racist therapy. This is wrong. It's done to our kids, DeSantis said. But it's also wrong to force employees to have to go through that. And so he's invoking anti-discrimination laws. Okay, fine. All right, fine. For that, let's use the laws that are in place. Generally, I'm not for anti-discrimination laws. But if we're going to push it, if we're going to push what's right with those laws, fine, right, over what's evil. The legislation would stretch the CRT ban beyond schools into private workplaces, according to the Epoch Times and according to what Ron DeSantis was saying, the governor of Florida. He said B of A, Bank of America, major bank, has been training employees in the United States that the United States is a system of white supremacy and encourages employees to become woke at work. Verizon, cell phone company Verizon, right? He said it teaches employees that America is fundamentally racist, or at least they have workshops, optional workshops. I think I remember reading about it. The company promoted defunding the police. Do they promote Christian stuff? Do they have any Christian workshops that fight against the radical homosexual agenda? Or the radical black... Oh, shoot. My light just turned on by accident. Yeah. Google, he said, Google is evil, tells its employees that all Americans are raised to be racist. Google used to have a thing, don't be evil. They got rid of that. That used to be their, motto, don't be evil. Joining DeSantis for the announcement was that guy, Christopher Rufo. He's a senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute. They're halfway decent, I think, sometimes. Shortly after taking office, sleazy Joe Biden, so-called president, signed an executive order to bring CRT training back into federal workplaces. DeSantis said many examples have been covered up by the media. Denial, deceit, and delusion, to quote the great black mob violence documenter, journalist, without racism, without rancor, Colin Flaherty, who calls JLP the most important man in America, Jesse Lee Peterson. The great Colin Flaherty has appeared on the Jesse Lee Peterson show many times. Pray for that guy. I think he's had a little bit of health issues, I think, maybe. DeSantis said that many examples have been covered up by the media. Arizona Department of Education's Equity Toolkit, equity buzzword, communist buzzword, teaches that babies show the first sign of racist thinking at 3 months old. White children become fully racist and strongly biased in favor of whiteness by age 5. Stupid. He said the Santa Clara, which is up in Central Cal or NorCal, I'm not sure, Office of Education has denounced the United States as a parasitic system based on the invasion of white male settlers. Settlers or settlers? Settlers. And it encourages teachers to cash in on kids' inherent empathy in order to recruit them into political activism. Especially those little girls, right? Remember those little girls who went to the school principal over in Utah to go after that Christian teacher who said back in 2019 before Christmas that it's not good to be, for a boy, a foster kid, to be adopted by two radical homosexual so-called gay dads? Shameful. Kids recruited to political activism. Misguided, especially those little girls, right? Schoolgirls, shameful. The governor of Florida mentioned a Philadelphia elementary school that he said forced fifth graders, grade 5, 10-year-olds, some are 11, to celebrate black communism and stimulate a black power rally. Black power. No such thing. At the school, he said 87% of students fail to achieve basic literacy. Literacy, meaning they can't write. The 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic, is what you're supposed to teach, which is math, right? Is math racist? That was trending on Twitter. This is something that you see across the country. We have a responsibility in Florida to say we're not going to scapegoat someone based on their race, especially whites, to say that they're inherently racist, to say that they're an oppressor or oppressed, meaning blacks are oppressed, fake, or any of that, DeSantis said. Yeah, somebody said, and I think it might have been Christopher Rufo, that it pushes these people to be angry, right? Lies. Lies and lies. Terrible lie. Great song, right? Let me get to Jeremiah in Louisiana. How are you doing, Jeremiah?
What's up?
Hey.
I wanted to know why you associate everything black with evil or evil with black.
I don't do that.
Yeah, you do. You say black-hearted. You call me Black Hebrew Israelite. You call black people black. I know what it's for. I just want you to admit it.
Black Hebrew Israelite is misguided.
You call black people black, and we're not black, we're brown. But you say that just
nothing
so you
wrong
say,
with being nothing wrong with being,
or you're black on the inside. You're black. You got a black soul,
right?
And all that stuff. So you're so consciously you're saying black people are evil. You know that, right?
No, most blacks are, but it's not because they're black. There's nothing wrong with being black on the outside, Jeremiah.
Say what again?
There's nothing wrong with being black on the outside.
There's nothing wrong with being black on the outside.
Right.
But you correlate those two. You say evil and black. It's like the same thing.
Everybody does that.
Something wrong.
Do you speak English? You speak English, right?
You say you don't relax. You don't relax around the blacks. You don't. Most blacks. You say most blacks are evil, but I'm pretty sure that 98% of the blacks you talk about are the evil when you're saying. Maybe even 99%. You know what I'm saying?
Are you aware that you're a so-called Christian, right? Are you aware that all men have sinned?
Yes.
All men are evil until they repent.
Yeah, but you consider us like second-class citizens.
And you being an Israelite stand for morals. You want blacks to be better than what they are, but they are in a crisis. You should be on my side if you care about black people.
I'm not on your side on that part because you
truly don't care about black people.
Hank.
Yeah.
You don't point out nothing that we do that's productive. All you do is point out evil stuff. You point out all the stuff y'all do that's productive. Did you hear about the girl that twerked on her car with her babies in? The white girl that twerked on the hood of her car while 2 of her babies were in the car?
Where'd she get that idea?
Pretty sure you didn't hear about this.
Where did she get that idea?
You see the 600 counts of incest
hey, Jeremiah.
the white man?
Jeremiah.
But you don't bring that stuff
Jeremiah,
up.
Where did she get twerking?
Stuff that black people do.
Jeremiah.
You don't bring up none of the stuff that black people do.
I'm going to put you on hold because he's like rambling. He just wants to talk. And I give these guys a lot of time, right? Where did the white girl who allegedly twerked while her kids were in the car get twerking? Where did that come from?
There you go.
Where did that come from, Jeremiah?
So you're gonna put that on black people. You're gonna put her twerking on the hood of her car on black people.
Where did she get the idea? Answer the question.
On black people. That's what I'm saying, Hank.
Answer the question.
So you're trying to, if she didn't get that from us, she did that on her own.
Where did she get the idea of twerking?
In her own mind. She has her own brain.
A white girl invented twerking. Amazing. Amazing.
Where do black people,
are you saying that a white girl invented a form of dance?
Where does black people get?
Are you saying that?
where does black people get sex trafficking from? They get that from you guys.
Yeah, okay.
So I blame you for a lot of stuff that y'all do. I blame you for the evil of this world. What are you talking about? I blame your
because you're a
for
shallow
the evil
person.
Of this world.
You're a shallow person.
What you just said was shallow. How? So we influenced her to twerk on the hood of her car while her baby was in the car?
That's where she got twerking.
Okay, so we get pedophilia from you. We get pedophilia from you, right?
Do you have your wife? Is that your wife in the background?
No. Who is that? Y'all influence black people.
No. You just distracted the whole show. I'm going to put you on hold. He has his boss talking on air. Who is this woman? Which I don't want to get too personal, right? I don't want to get too personal.
Pedophiles.
Okay, all right. I'm putting him back on hold because he's talking pedophile stuff, which is too dirty for the Hake Report. Should I give him another chance or I gotta go? We've already given the black-hearted, evil-hearted people. I bet you even in Africa, they prefer the daylight because at night, a lot of evil can happen. I gotta go, Jeremiah. I appreciate your call. You're getting off the rails. And so goodbye. Bye. He hung up. What a mess. Shameful. Yeah, I don't want to take the risk because I already took the risk with another guy who I had to ban. Robert Lee says, ban him, Hake. I mean, just mentioning pedophiles, I don't think that's a bannable offense. But he does toe that line, and he did give a totally fake apology. Let's just do one ban a day. Robert from Kansas is banned. Blazing Hog says, press 1 to ban Jeremiah. No, he wasn't totally out of control at that point. I just didn't want to take the risk. Jeremiah, I appreciate your call, man. That Saab says, let him call back tomorrow. Thank you, Jeremiah. To answer your question a little bit more, though, to give an honest answer, everybody knows that darkness, like the night, is associated with evil. A lot of stuff happens in the darkness. And if you have a dark heart, everybody knows that that's evil. I'm not saying that black skin is evil. It's just that you guys have been tempted to identify with your race rather than with what's right. With what's right. That's why you get all excited about quoting the Bible. Man, I almost should ban John from Kentucky who called in. Another black Hebrew Israelite who said horrible things. And he quoted the Bible as if it's biblical to be, to want to kill young people. Talk about an evil, murderous heart. What a shame. I think that it is a good idea to take a serious look at the callers who may get a little out of hand. But maybe I can contain them as well with better wisdom. Such a shame. Such a shame. But it's not, don't take it personally just because being black on you want to be white on the inside, white as snow. It's in the Bible. Your heart washed white as snow. It's not about race. It's about the spirit. And your spirit's evil. Anyway, let me tell you. Do I want to tell you? It's kind of funny. It's a little bit lighthearted. Let me see if I can drag this screenshot into the folder. It's kind of funny. I just saw this on Morning Brew. It's silly. I almost feel silly sharing this with you guys. I'm gonna drag it into the folder in a few seconds or so. Screenshot incoming. Okay. This is from the Fayetteville Observer. Renee, this is an obituary. I saw it on the Morning Brew, which sends you news in the morning. Renee, R-E-N-A-Y, Mandel, Corren, K-O-R-R-E-N. And it's obituary for this woman. And I have a picture of her. Oh, boy. Reporting from El Paso, Texas. Apparently her son, who is a radical homosexual, apparently, wrote this obituary for her. She died. Obituary means she died, and they're reporting on her dying. Reporting from El Paso, Texas. A plus-size Jewish lady, redneck. Wow, what a combination. Died in El Paso on Saturday. Hardly news, or good news if you're the type who subscribes to the notion that anybody not named you dying in El Paso, Texas is good news. This guy writes, the bawdy, red-headed matriarch of a sprawling Jewish, Mexican, redneck American family has kicked the bucket. Not good news to Renee Mandel Corren's many surviving children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, if she even knew them, or loved. Many of them she even knew, and even in her own way loved. And he goes on and on. It's kind of funny. She's had a failed marriage, and man, I don't know how to put it other than that it's kind of funny. Kind of funny. I didn't realize I'm over time already. Anyway, that's a radical homosexual. I mean, the Jews, this guy was a Jewish, maybe Mexican, radical homosexual son, is a mess. But he's kind of funny. He got that, what is that called? I'm over time, I gotta end. But he got that verbal IQ. Right on. Anyway, guys, thank you for bearing with me through that. This has been the Hake Report. Third hour, let's go. No third hour. Thanks, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Take care.